Hi, Tricia here again. So, another one of our essential drawing skills sessions today. We're going to have a look at mark making with graphite pencils. So we're going to have a look at 2H, HB, 2B, a 2B block and an 8B. And we're going to have a look at all the different types of marks that we think those pencils can create. We're going to have a look at blending, we're going to have a look at cross-hatching, and we're going to create lots of other different textures to explore the wide range of marks that we can make with our graphite pencils. So let's get started. What we're going to do is we're going to use all the different pencils. We probably won't go too far into the H pencils, but we can have a little go and we can look at all the different types of marks that we can make. So these marks are what we're going to use to add tones or shadows or textures to what we're actually drawing. So I'm just going to pick them out and see what we've got. So we've got a HB. So we can obviously scribble across, and let's try and be a very similar tone. If we use our pencil on the side, so rather than using it like this, if we flip it under our hand here and use our fingers to press down, and what we want to do is we want to drag this part of the pencil across the paper. You get a nice even tone there, which is quite nice there. There we go. We could do some grasses there. We could just work all over, sort of scribbly scumbly marks. We can do some hatching there, and then the last one that we can do, I'll do a new little block down here so we can see those different ones there, is we can do some blending. So if we rub over this, we can create a sort of a smoother block in there. And obviously our last thing that we can do is we can pull out some highlights, so we can pull lighter areas back out of it again. Let's try that with another one. What we got in here? 8B. Oh, let's go over here. 8B. So let's do a hard block. Let's do a softer. Same again, flip it over, get our finger on the top, and now let's use it on its side. Make a nice even tone there. Let's blend this one. We can move that one around quite a bit, and let's have a blend of this one. There we go. So this one here, slightly softer mark, we can probably look at that. So we can knock, see here where we had these marks, we can actually knock all the marks out. So we've just taken all that graphite and smeared it into a nice even layer across the paper. So if I come right up on the point, there is a tiny point on this, I might be able to get a few little grassy flicks out. But if I use it, you see it's starting to go blunt now. If I use it on a slightly more blunt edge, still get those grassy marks, but now they're little flicks. Let's do our cross hatching. Yeah. And let's try our little scumbly mark, scribble mark. what shall we go for now? What we got in here? Oh, we have got our 6H. Let's see if we can find another H pencil actually, because that one's a bit too much. 2H. 6H is a little bit too scritchy for me. So 2H. So hard mark. Soft mark. Okay, let's use the side. Side mark. So get a little bit more of an even tone here with this side mark, because what we're not doing is we're not using that tiny fine point. We're getting a slightly thicker block there. Try and find a finger that's clean. Use that middle one. Look at that. We actually get quite a nice, because we didn't put masses of graphite down, so we didn't create quite a dark line. We're able to knock that back as well. Let's do cross hatching. So really nice crisscross hatching there, and let's do our scumbly mark here. There we go. Right, so HB, 2H, 8B. Let's go in the middle here, 4B. Oops. So let's give that a rub. We should be able to get this nice and smooth here. There, yeah, almost. Let's try the side of our pencil. There we go. Very similar to our 8B, really, just not quite as dark, but same again. Let's try and find a little point on our pencil. And I'll use a sort of a duller edge. Now, not masses of difference between the point and the duller edge, because it's all sort of around about the same size, not too much different. There we go. And I'll try my rubber in these. Oops, forgot that. Sorry, guys. Okay, so rub out and rub out and rub out. Look at that really contrast there, where I've blended that 2H across and then rubbed out. I've got a nice crisp slick line, which I haven't quite got as much, but quite nice on these ones, not too bad. Okay, let's take our graphite block now. So we haven't got a point on this at all. So some of the things that we can do is we can do that sideways blend, and we can cover a nice big area. We use our tip of our pencil there. Gonna struggle to do some nice neat cross hatching. Oh, there we go, got it. But I'm not getting a point. So even on my 8B, so this is a 2B. So even on my 8B, there wasn't, and the lead was going dull, and it was going a little bit rounded. It was never going to get as fat and as rounded as this, so I could still get a fine mark in comparison to this mark. But let's blend this now. So this is only 2B. Let's blend this. It's just picked up the little texture of the paper slightly there. And now let's have a rub into it. There we go. Let's see if in my set we can find a 2B. There's a 2B. Okay, let's do press hard, press soft. I'm going to struggle with this one because I've done this one with a knife, so I haven't got a very smooth edge there, but there we go, slightly flattening it off now. I've cut it all a bit lopsided. Let's do flicks. Let's do some cross hatching. Let's do a bit of a scribbly mark. So there's the difference. Let's do our scribbly mark here. There we go, there's the difference. One of the things that I'm obviously doing is, as well, because I'm using the graphite block, I'm actually drawing much bigger than I am with the pencil. Just the feel of it in my hand and the tip that I've got to work with, I'm making this much bigger marks compared to here. Even my little flicks are bigger, so that's quite interesting. Okay, so this is a 3B, so we've sort of seen a nice little spread here. So what other things can we be doing? So we can obviously be just creating different types of textures. You know, let's do a little bit of a wood grain in here. So we can create a little bit of texture. We can be working with that little flicks fine or long. We can be creating patterns that overlap themselves, that give a little bit more structure. So I can be creating little squares. Yeah, so very similar to this one, but quite a different feel. This has got more straighter sections, whereas this has got a lot softer. Think about like leaves on trees, so a very scritchy mark again, but rather than round circles, I'm just going up and down zigzaggy. We can also be working lights and darks, so if I scritch like that and then over the top of itself here, and then really backwards and forwards over itself. We can go from light through to dark, just the layer and layer and layer. So the same as when we're doing cross hatching. If I separate my marks out, I'm not being very straight here, am I, with my cross hatching? And now put another layer on here, so these are closer together and more layered. So I can go here, dark, medium, light, so I can build up different layers of tone. Obviously with my blending, I can build up layers of tone. So if if I press hard and soft. And I can also then blend those together. But once I get to here, if I bring that blended mark down where I've got no graphite at the moment, I can bring that going dark to light. I can work back over now and just create very softly, just really work on that divide between the two. Let's build up here on top a bit more here. Now let's really press hard up here. And use that graphite again to pull down to blend those layers together. Look at that change that I can get from there to there. Yeah, quite a difference in there. So I can play around with all these different marks to create different types of textures of just plain areas, grass, or fine feathery marks, much more harder scratchy marks. I could use little dotty marks. So I can work in with lots of different mark making, playing about with all the different marks that I can make to see if I can create the idea or the illusion of different textures.